Durable Story, Episode 8, The Long Road Home. The desert did not calm after the blood was spilled. It only waited. The caravan moved again beneath the bruised sky, the sun climbing higher as smoke from burned carcasses thinned into nothing. Fresh shields had been lashed to wagons, cracked armor replaced where possible. No one spoke much. They listened instead. Mark walked near Thane now, shield strapped to one arm, longsword riding unfamiliar weight at his hip. They'd practiced with live steel before, yes, but never here, never with consequence written in every step. A pulse brushed against Mark's awareness. Not the watcher, something warmer. Mark? The voice arrived without a sound, settling gently behind his eyes like a familiar hand on his shoulder. Dad? Yes, Lord Towers replied, calm and present in the strange shared quiet. Your ward is stable. Thane, you hear me as well? Thane inclined his head slightly, outwardly calm, inwardly attentive. We do, Thane answered. We've repelled one major strike. I know, Lord Towers said, and I'm sending more than gratitude. The mental link widened, precise and controlled. 2 Firebird platoons are en route to intercept you within the next day. They'll reinforce the caravan and take the pressure off the return leg. Captain Yara snorted softly when Thane related aloud. Good. The desert's restless. Lord Tower's presence lingered a moment longer. Mark, he added gently, you did well back there. Mark swallowed. I just followed what Thane has taught me. A wise choice, his father replied. Keep doing that. The connection eased, but the pressure did not. It came without warning. The dunes on the west collapsed inward as if swallowed by an invisible tide. Sand geysered skyward, and from it surged a pack of desert hyaenid, long-limbed beasts with cracked obsidian hides and burning ember eyes, their howls leaving ripples in the air itself. Echo howlers, Yara growled. They stun before they kill. The first howl struck. The sound wasn't loud. It was wrong, vibrating through bone and thought alike. Several guards staggered, clutching their heads. Mark's grip tightened on his shield. Stay with me, Thane said evenly, stepping forward. They moved together. A howler yet leapt. Mark caught it on his shield, impact rattling his teeth, but he held. Angled the rim, redirected. The beast's momentum carried it past him, off balance. Mark's swords flashed. Steel bit through the augmented hide, sparks snapping as magic resisted and then failed. The creature fell, dissolving into ash and glassy fragments. Another came. Mark blocked again, lower this time, then stepped inside the creature's reach without exactly as Thane had drilled him to do. Sword up, shield bash, clean, efficient. Thane did not intervene. He didn't need to. Yara tore through the left flank like a living battering ram, iron rhythm flaring as she redirected blows that would have crushed wagons. A wounded howler tried to flee, and she threw an axe, the weapon bending mid-flight as though it was guided by intent, splitting the beast into 2. Sol and Reed moved differently. They didn't charge, they didn't shout, they stepped. A howler erupted from the sand in front of them, only to collapse mid-leap, its legs severed by twin blades that no one had ever even seen move. Rear pressure rising, someone shouted. Then advance, Thane said calmly. Mark matched his pace without thinking. They fought like they'd always meant to. When the last echo howler fell, the sand was scorched black and the caravan still stood. No one cheered. They were breathing too hard for that. The wounded were bound, the dead burned. Mark sat with his shield resting against his knees, watching firelight dance across the battered surface. You didn't hesitate, Thane said quietly. Mark looked up. You've taught me not to. Thane nodded once. And you listened. From across the camp, Yara watched Mark with an undisguised intensity. He holds the line without panicking, she said to Thane. That's rare. It's his nature, Thane replied. Solon crouched nearby, fingers brushing the sand. The desert is reacting to him, they said softly. Thane didn't ask how, and neither did Mark. The next attack came at dusk. A swarm of razor wings swept down from the shimmering heat mirage, mantis-like flyers whose wings cut the air itself, leaving slicing pressure waves behind them. "Shields up!" Yara roared. Mark braced as invisible blades slammed into the caravan line. Metal rang, wood splintered. Yara moved like a conductor, calling adjustments, positioning fighters exactly where the pressure would strike hardest. Mark held position, blocking until his arm burned. A razor wing tried to slip past. Stolen stepped once. The creature froze midair, then crashed lifelessly into the sound, as if gravity had remembered it. This fight was short, controlled. When it ended, the caravan was shaken, but intact. As they were resting in the hours before dawn, when exhaustion weighed heavier than armor, the ground ahead darkened, not with shadow, but with movement. Sand began to float uphill. "Sink runners," Yara said immediately. "They pull, don't strike." The desert itself seemed to give way as broad, flattened shapes slid beneath the surface, their bodies invisible except for the way the wagons lurched and tilted, as if caught in an unseen current. These creatures did not burst upward, they dragged. A lead wagon pitched sideways. "Anchors!" Yara roared. She moved first, shield slamming into the sand, spear driving down after it. Her iron rhythm surged, the reinforced tempo locking her body into place as the ground tried to claim her. She became a fixed point in a moving desert. Mark reacted instantly. He drove his shield into the wagon frame, bracing with his shoulder as the earth tugged beneath him. The pull was relentless, like standing in a river made of sand. One of the sink runners surfaced at last, a wide, manta-like beast with a glassy hide and glowing veins, its body warping space just enough that distance felt wrong. "Don't chase it," Thane said sharply. "Let it come to you." It did. The creature surged upward, attempting to slide beneath Mark's footing. He adjusted, just as he'd been trained. Lower stance, shield angled not to block but redirect. The pull lessened. Yara struck. Her spear punched down through the creature's exposed ridge with brutal precision, pinning it to the sand. She twisted, using the shield as leverage, and the sink runner spasmed before dissolving into brittle shards. Another tried to take the rear wagons. Solon moved quiet, exact. They stepped where the sand remembered weight, blades flashing once. The ground stilled as the creature beneath failed to complete its pull. Mark finished the last of them. When a sink runner surfaced too close, he didn't overextend. He waited until its pull committed, and then drove his sword straight down through the distortion, anchoring it long enough for Thane to end it with a single precise strike. The sand settled. No cheers, no relief, just the slow realization that the caravan was still moving. Before long, horn calls echoed across the sands. Firebird banners crested the dunes as additional soldiers arrived in perfect formation. Relief washed through the caravan like rain. Lord Tower's voice returned briefly, warm with approval. "You made it through." "We did," Mark replied. As the walls of Firebird City rose from the desert in like a promise fulfilled, as the gates opened, Mark felt something ease, if only slightly. The Watcher did not vanish, but it retreated. For now. Mark walked through the gate with his shield bearing fresh scars, his sword darkened with ash, and his heart steady. He was no longer just surviving. He was learning why.